members, and thank you for staying for our workshop, Her Infinite Variety, Shakespeare's Women. Unfortunately, our director, Kerr Lockhart, could not be here, and he asked me to pass along these few comments before we begin. What you will see is not, nor is it meant to be, a finished presentation. If there had been a full production, this would be the result of a first few weeks of the rehearsal period, when the focus is strictly on the reading and interpretation of the text. In other words, table work. In modern realistic acting, we begin by defining a character and try and figure out how the character would speak and behave. However, in verse drama, the actor must first work out how the words are to be said, through analysis of the meter, line, punctuation, and other clues. Once the actor is saying the words as Shakespeare meant them to be said, the character will emerge. The process can be more like learning music than a conventional play. So tonight we present a work in progress. We hope it will provide some insight into the pleasures and rewards of performing Shakespeare, and demonstrate that it is readily accessible to any actor who is open to a different approach from our own realistic tradition. So now please welcome to the stage Jennifer Holak, Lotz, Claudia MacDermott, Marilyn Tavalouris, Beth Parrillo, and myself, Michael Boris, as we present Her Infinite Variety, Shakespeare's Women.
What beast wasn't then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. Then have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you.
If we should fail...
Oh, we fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail.
Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety. She is woman as Shakespeare portrayed her. Alas, he never gave us the 7 ages of woman, but tonight we bring you a few of her varieties. First, the lover, Cleopatra.
Oh, such another sleep that I might see but such another man.
If it might please ye.
His face was as the heavens, and therein struck a sun and a moon, which kept their course and lighted the earth.
Most sovereign creature.
His legs bestrewed the ocean, his reared arm crested the world. His voice was propertied in tuned spheres, and that to friends. But when he meant to quail and shake the orb, he was as rattling thunder. For his bounty there was no winter, and autumn 'twas, that grew more by the reaping. His delights were dolphin-like. They showed his back above the element they lived in. In his livery walked crowns and crownets. Realms, islands were coin dropped from his pocket.
Cleopatra.
Think you there was, or might be, such a man as I dreamed of?
Oh, gentle madam, no.
Then Juliet, impatient for the return of Hermia.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaethon would whip you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen.
Lovers concede to do their amorous rites by their own beauties. Or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil night, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. With thy black hood, my unmanned blood bating in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grown bold, think true love acted simple modesty.
Come night, come Romeo, come thou day and night. For thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come gentle night, come loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo. And when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun.
The lover wronged by the seducer.
For lo, his passion but an art of craft, even there resolved my reason into tears. There my white stole of chastity I daft, shook off my sober guards and civil fears, appear to him as he to me appears, all melting. Though our drops this difference bore, his poisoned me, and mine did him restore. In him a plenitude of subtle matter, applied to ruses, all strange forms receives, of burning blushes, or of weeping water, or swooning paleness, and he takes and leaves in either's aptness as it best deceives, to blush at speeches rank, to weep at woes, or to turn white and swoon at tragic shows. That not a heart within his bow sight came could scape the hail of his all-hurting aim, showing fair nature is both kind and tame, and veiled in them did win whom he would maim. Against the thing he sought he would exclaim, when he most burned in heart-wished luxury, he preached pure maid and praised cold chastity. Thus merely with the garment of a grace the naked and concealed fiend he covered, that the inexperienced gave the tempter place, which like a cherubin above them hovered. Who, young and simple, would not be so lovered? Ay me, I fell, and yet do question make what I should do again for such a sake. Oh, that infected moisture of his eye! Oh, that false fire which in his cheek so glowed! Oh, that forced thunder from his heart did fly! Oh, that sad breath his spongy lungs bestowed! Oh, all that borrowed motion seeming owed would yet again betray the fore-betrayed, and new betray a reconciled maid.
Then there's 12th Knight's noble Olivia, in love with Cesario, delivering a love note from Orsino, the Duke. Olivia is veiled, and Cesario is in truth. Viola, disguised.
The honorable lady of the house, which is she?
Speak to me, I shall answer for her.
Most,
Your will?
most radiant, exquisite, and unmatchable beauty. I pray you tell me if this be the lady of the house, for I never saw her. I would be loath to cast away my speech, for besides that it is excellently well penned, I have taken great pains to con it. Good beauties, let me sustain no scorn. I am very sensitive, even to the most benign usage.
Whence came you, sir?
I can say little more than I have studied, and that question's out of my part. Good gentle one, give me modest assurance that you be the lady of the house, that I may proceed in my speech.
Are you a comedian?
Oh no, my profound art, and yet, by the very fangs of malice, I swear I'm not that what I play. Are you the lady of the house?
If I do not usurp myself, I am. Now, sir, where lies your text?
In Orsino's bosom.
In his bosom? In what chapter of his bosom?
To answer by the method in the first of his heart.
Oh, I have read it. It is heresy. Have you no more to say?
Good madam, let me see your face.
Have you any commission from your lord to negotiate with my face? You are now out of your text, but we will draw the curtain and show you the picture. Look you, sir, such a one I was this present. Isn't not well done?
Excellently done, if God did all.
Ah, 'tis in grain, sir. 'Twill endure wind and weather.
'Tis beauty truly blent, whose red and white nature's own sweet and cunning hand laid on. Lady, you are the cruelest she alive, if you will lead these graces to the grave and leave the world no copy.
Oh, sir, I will not be so hard-hearted. I will give out diverse schedules of my beauty. I shall be inventoried, and every particle and utensil labeled to my will. As item, 2 lips, indifferent red. Item, 2 eyes, with lids to them. Item, 1 neck, 1 chin, and so forth. Were you sent hither to praise me?
I see what you are too proud. But if you were the devil, you are fair. My lord and master loves you. Oh, such love could be but recompense, though you were crowned a nonpareil of beauty.
How does he love me?
With adorations, fertile tears, with groans that thunder love with sighs of fire.
Your lord does know my mind. I cannot love him. Yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well divulged, free, learned, and valiant, and in dimension in the shape of nature a gracious person, yet I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago.
If I did love you in my master's flame with such a suffering, such a deadly life, in your denial I would find no sense, I would not understand it.
Why, what would you?
Make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of contemned love, and sing them loud even in the dead of night. Halloo your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out, Olivia! You should not rest between the elements of air and earth, but you should pity me.
You might do much. What is your parentage?
Above my fortunes, yet my status, well, I am a gentleman.
Get you to your lord. I cannot love him. Let him send no more, unless perchance you come to me again, to tell me how he takes it. Fare thee well, I thank you for your pains. Spend this for me.
I am no feed post, lady, keep your purse. My master, not myself, lacks recompense. Love make his heart a flint that you shall love, and let your fervor, like my master's, be placed in contempt. Farewell, fair cruelty.
I am a gentleman. I'll be sworn thou art. Thy tongue, thy face, thy limbs, actions, and spirit do give thee fivefold blazon. Not too fast, soft, soft. Oh, unless the master were the man, how now? Even so quickly may one catch the plague? Methinks I feel this youth's perfections with an invisible and subtle stealth to creep in at mine eyes. Well, let it be.
And now another first date.
Thou hast hit it! Come, sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you, if me you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee, for knowing thee to be but young and light.
Too light for such a swain as to catch, and yet as heavy as my weight should be.
Should be. Should buzz.
Well taken and like a buzzard.
Oh, slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
Aye, for a turtle as he takes a buzzard.
Come, you wasp. In faith you are too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy is then to pluck it out.
Aye, if the fool could find where it lies.
Who knows not where a wasp but does wear his sting? In his tail?
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails, and so farewell.
What? With my tongue in your tail? Nay, come again, good Kate. I am a gentleman.
That I'll try.
I swear I'll cuff you if you strike again.
So that you lose your arms. If you strike me, you are no gentleman. And if no gentleman, why then no arms?
A herald, Kate. Oh, put me in thy books.
What is your crest, a coxcomb?
A combless cock, so Kate will be my hen.
No cock of mine. You crow too like a craven.
Nay, come, Kate, come. You must not look so sour.
It is in my fashion when I see a crab.
Why, there's no crowd, and therefore look not sour.
There is. There is.
Then show it me.
Had I a glass, I would.
What, you mean my face?
Well, aimed of the young one.
Now, by St. George, I am too young for you.
Yet you are withered.
'Tis with cares.
I care not.
Nay, hear you, Kate, in sooth you skate not so.
I take you. If I tarry, let me go.
Ah, not a whit. I find you passing gentle. 'Twas told me you were rough and coy and sullen, and now I find reports a very liar.
Go, fool, and whom thou keepest command.
Did ever Diane so become a grove as Kate this chamber with her princely gait? Oh, be thou Diane, and let her be Kate, and then let Kate be chaste and Diane sportful.
Where did you study all this goodly speech?
It is extempore from my mother wit.
A witty mother, witless else her son.
Am I not wise?
Yes, keep you warm.
Then there is Desdemona, to remind us that the course of true love never did run smooth.
What shall I do to win my lord again? Good friend, go to him, for by this light of heaven I know not how I lost him. Here I kneel. If e'er my will did trespass against his love, either in discourse of thought or actual deed, or mine eyes, mine ears, or any sense delighted them in any other form, or that I do not yet and ever did, and ever will, though he do shake me off to beggarly divorcement, love him dearly. Comfort forswear me, and kindness may do much, and his unkindness may defeat my life, but never taint my love.
But before she is a lover, she is a sister, from As You Like It.
You, cousin, within these 10 days, if that thou beest found so near to a public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else had she with her father arranged long.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young that time to value her, but now I know her. If she be a traitor, why so am I. We still have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, ate together. And wheresoe'er we went, like Juno's swans, still we went coupled and inseparable.
Firm and irrevocable is my doom, which I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? I charge thee, be not thou more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Prithee be cheerful. Knowest thou not, the Duke hath banished me, his daughter.
That he hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind lacks then the love which teacheth thee that thou and I are one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet love? No. Let my fathers seek another heir. Therefore devise with me how we may fly, whither to go and what to bear with us, and do not seek to take your change upon you, to bear your griefs yourself and leave me out. For by this heaven, now at our sorrows pale, say what thou canst. Go along with thee.
Portia, sharing the woes of courtship in The Merchant of Venice.
By my troth, Nerissa, my little body is aweary of this great world.
You would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. And yet, for aught I see, they are as sick that surfeit with too much as they that starve with nothing.
Good sentences and well pronounced.
They would be better if well followed.
The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaps o'er a cold decree. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. Oh me, the word choose. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none?
What warmth is there in your affection toward any of these princely suitors that are already come?
I pray thee, overname them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them. According to my description, level at my affection.
First, there is the Neapolitan prince.
Aye, that's a colt indeed, for he doth nothing but talk of his horse, and he makes it a great appropriation to do his own good parts, that he can shoe him himself. I am much afeard, my lady, his mother played false with a smith.
Then there is the County Palatine.
Oh, he doth nothing but frown, as who should say, if you will not have me choose. He hears merry tales and smiles not. I fear he will prove the weeping for land philosopher when he grows old, being so full of unmannerly sadness in his youth. I had rather be married to a death's head with a bone in his mouth than to either of these. God defend me from these two.
How say you by the French lord, Monsieur de Bon?
Oh, God have made him, and therefore let him pass for a man. In truth, I know it is a sin to be a mocker, but he hath a horse better than the Neapolitans, a better habit of frowning than the Count Palatine. He is every man in no man. If a thrush sing, he falls straight a capering. He will fence with his own shadow. If I should marry him, I should marry 20 husbands.
What say you then to Falconbridge, the young Baron of England?
You know I say nothing to him, for he understands not me, nor I him. He hath neither Latin, French, nor Italian, and you will come into court and swear that I have poor pennyworth in the English. He is a proper man's picture, but alas, who can converse with a dumb show? How oddly he is suited. I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round hose in France, his bonnet in Germany, and his behavior everywhere.
How like you the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew?
Very vilely in the morning when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon when he is drunk. When he is best, he is a little worse than a man, and when he is worst, he is a little better than a beast, and the worst fall that ever fell. I hope I shall make shift to go on without him.
If you should refuse to perform your father's will, you should refuse to accept him.
Therefore, for fear of the worst, I pray thee, if the devil be within and temptation without, I know he will choose it. I will do anything, Nerissa, ere be married to a sponge.
Of course, not all sisters get on so well as in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Lo, she is one of this confederacy. Now I perceive they have conjoined all three to fashion this false sport in spite of me. Incurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired, have you with these contrived to bait me with this foul derision? Is all the counsel that we two have shared, the sisters' vows, the hours that we have spent, when we have chid the hasty-footed time for parting us, is it all forgot? All school days friendship, childhood innocence. We, Hermia, like two artificial gods with how our needles created both one flower, both on one sampler, sitting on one cushion, both warbling of one song, both in one key, as if our hands, our sides, voices, and minds had been incorporate. So we grow together, like to a double cherry, seeming parted, but yet an union in partition. Two lovely berries, molded on one stem, so with two seeming bodies, but one heart. Two of the first, like coats in heraldry, due but to one and crowned with one crest. And when you rent our ancient love asunder to join with men in scorning your poor friend, it is not friendly, 'tis not maidenly. Our sex as well as I may chide you for it, though I alone do feel the injury.
I am amazed at your passionate words. I scorn you not. It seems that you scorned me.
Have you not set Lysander as in scorn to follow me and praise my eyes and face, and made your other love Demetrius, who even but now did spurn me with his foot, to call me goddess, nymph, divine, and rare, precious, celestial? Wherefore speaks he this to her he hates? And wherefore doth Lysander deny your love so rich within his soul, and tender me, forsooth, affection? But by your setting on, by your consent, what thought I be not so in grace as you, so hung upon with love, so fortunate, but miserable most to love unloved, this you should pity rather than despise.
I understand not what you mean by this.
I do. Persever, counterfeit sad looks, make mouths upon me when I turn my back, wink each at other, hold the sweet jest up, this sport well carried shall be chronicled. If you have any pity, grace, or manners, you would not make me such an argument. But fare ye well, 'tis partly my own fault, which death or absence soon shall remedy.
The playwright William Congreve told us of a woman scorns, but often in Shakespeare we find a woman wrongs. For example, Isabella in Measure for Measure.
Justice, O royal duke, fill your regard upon a wronged, I would fain have said a maid. Worthy prince, dishonor not your right by throwing it on any other object till you have heard me in my true complaint and given me justice. Justice! Justice! Justice!
Relate your wrongs in what by whom be brief. Here is Lord Angelo shall give you justice.
You bid me seek redemption of the devil. Hear me yourself, for that which I must speak must either punish me not being believed or wring redress from you. Hear me! Oh, hear me here!
You speak most bitterly strange.
Most strange, but yet most truly do I speak. That Angelo's forsworn, is it not strange? That Angelo's a murderer, is it not strange? That Angelo's an adulterous thief, is a hypocrite, a virgin violator, is it not strange and strange? It is not truer he is Angelo than this is all as true as it is strange. Nay, it is 10 times true, for truth is truth to the end of reckoning.
You speak this in an infirmity of sense.
O prince, I conjure thee, as thou believest that there is another comfort than this world, that thou neglect me not with that opinion that I am touched with madness. Make not impossible that which but seems unlike. 'Tis not impossible but one, the wickedest villain on the ground, may seem as shy, as grave, as just, as absolute as Angelo. Even so may Angelo be in all his dressings, carrots, titles, forms, be an arch villain. Believe it, royal prince, if he be less, he's nothing. But he's more, had I more name for badness.
By mine honesty, I think she be mad, as I believe no other. Her madness hath the oddest frame of sense.
I am the sister of one Claudio, condemned upon the act of fornication to lose his head. Condemned by Angelo. I, in probation of a sisterhood, was sent to by my brother. One Lucio as then the messenger, I went to this pernicious, wretched deputy in brief to set the needless process by. How I persuaded, how I prayed and kneeled, and how he rebuffed me, and how I replied, for this was of much length. By a conclusion of I now begin with grief and shame to utter. He would not, but by gift of my chaste body to his concupiscible and temperate lust release my brother. And yet, after much debatement, my sisterly remorse confounds mine honor, and I did yield to him. The next morn betimes, his purpose surfeiting, he sends a warrant for my poor brother's head.
Someone hath sent you on. Confess the truth, and say by whose advice thou camest here to complain.
And is this all? That, oh, you blessed ministers above, keep me in patience, and with ripened time unfold the evil which is here wrapped up in countenance. Heaven shield your grace from woe, as I thus wronged hence unbelieved go.
And then there is Queen Margaret, wife to Henry VI, whose role consists of almost nothing but complaint. Almost as soon as she is crowned, she turns on court.
My lord of Suffolk, say, is this the guise? Is this the fashion in the court of England? Is this the government of Britain's Isle? And this the royalty of Albion's king? What? Shall King Henry be a pupil still, under the surly Gloucester's governance? Am I a queen in title and in style, and must be made subject to a duke? I tell thee, Pole, when in the city tour thou ranst a tilt in honor of my love, and stolest away the ladies' hearts of France, I thought King Henry had resembled thee in courage, courtship, and proportion. But all his mind is bent to holiness, to number Ave Marias on his beads. His champions are the prophets and apostles, his weapons holy saws of sacred writ. His study is his tilt yard, and his loves are brazen images of canonized saints. I would the College of Cardinals would choose him pope and carry him to Rome and set the triple crown upon his head. That were a state fit for his holiness. Beside the haughty protector have we Beaufort, the imperious churchman, Somerset, Buckingham, and grumbling York, and not the least of these but can do more in England than the king. Not all these lords do vex me half so much as that proud dame, the Lord Protector's wife. She sweeps it through the court with troops of ladies, more like an empress than Duke Humphrey's wife. Strangers in court do take her for the queen. She bears a duke's revenues on her back, and in her heart she scorns our poverty. Shall I not live to be avenged on her? Contemptuous, base-born slattern as she is, she vaunted mongst her minions t'other day. The very train of her worst-wearing gown was better worth than all my father's lands, till Suffolk gave 2 dukedoms for his daughter.
Who are most aggrieved, poor Lady Anne, only mourner of Henry VI, usurped by Edward IV, who is soon to fall to the machinations of the dastardly Richard III. As she alone accompanies the body of the king in his coffin, she accosts the crowd.
Set down your honorable load, if honor may be shrouded in a hearse, whilst I obsequiously lament the untimely fall of virtuous Lancaster. Poor key-cold figure of a holy king, pale ashes of the house of Lancaster, thou bloodless remnant of that royal blood. Be it lawful that I invocate thy ghost to hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, to thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the self-same hand that made these wounds. Lo, in these windows that let forth thy life, I pour the helpless balm of my poor eyes. Cursed be the hand that made these fatal holes. Cursed be the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed be the blood that let this blood from hence. More direful hap betide that hated wretch that makes us wretched by the death of thee than I can wish to adders, spiders, toads, or any creeping venom thing that lives. If ever he have child, abortive be it, prodigious and untimely brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect may fright the hopeful mother at the view, and that be heir to his unhappiness. If ever he have wife, let her be made as miserable by the death of him as I am made by my poor lord and thee.
Sweet saint, for charity, be not so cursed.
Oh, devil, for God's sake, hence, and trouble us not, for thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with accursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. Oh, gentlemen, see, dead Henry's wounds open their congealed mouths and bleed afresh. Blush, thou lump of foul deformity, for 'tis thy presence that thus exhales this blood from cold and empty veins where no blood dwells. Thy deed, inhuman and unnatural, provokes this deluge most unnatural. O God, which this blood madest, revenge his death. O earth, which this blood drinkest, revenge his death. Either heaven with lightning strike the murderer dead, or earth gape open wide and eat him quick, as thou dost swallow up this good king's blood, which his hell-governed arm hath butchered.
Less well recognized is Shakespeare's gallery of women who advocate for others. I don't suppose we could possibly omit the noble Portia.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesses him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptered sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute of God himself. And earthly power doth then show like as God's when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer does teach us all to render the deeds of mercy.
Most often, Shakespeare's women advocate for other women. In The Winter's Tale, Paulina begs for the life of the queen she serves, who is falsely accused of unfaithfulness.
Good, my liege, I come and I beseech you, hear me, who profess myself your loyal servant, your physician, your most obedient counselor, yet that dare less appear so in comforting your evils than such as most seem yours. I say I come from your good queen.
Good queen?
Good queen, my lord, good queen. I say good queen, and I would by combat make her good were I so were I a man, the worst about you.
Force her hence!
Let him that makes but trifles of his eyes first hand me. Of mine own accord I'll off, but first I'll do my errand. The good queen, for she is good, hath brought you forth a daughter. Here 'tis, commends it to your blessing.
Out! A mankind witch! Hence with her out to adore. A most intelligencing bawd.
Not so. I am as ignorant in that as you in so entitling me, and no less honest than you are mad, which is enough, I'll warrant, as this world goes, to pass for honest.
Traitors! You will not push her out? Take up the bastard, take it up, I say, give it to thy crone.
For ever unvenerable be thy hands, if thou takest up the princess by that forced baseness which he has put upon.
He dreads his wife!
So I would you did, then 'twere past all doubt you'd call your children yours.
A nest of traitors.
Nor I, nor any here but you yourself, for you the sacred honor of yourself, your queens, your hopeful sons, your babes, betrays to slander whose sting is sharper than the sword, and will not, for as the case now stands. It is a curse, he cannot be compelled to it. Once remove the root of his opinion, which is rotten as ever oak or stone was sound.
Slattern of boundless tongue, who late hath beat her husband, and now baits me. This brat is none of mine. Hence with it, and together with the dam commit them to the fire.
It is yours. And might we lay the old proverb to your charge, so like you 'tis the worse. Behold, my lords, although the print be little, the whole matter and copy of the father. Eye, nose, lip, the trick of's frown, his forehead, nay, the valley, the pretty dimples of his chin and cheek, his smiles, the very mold and frame of hand, nail, finger, and thou, good goddess nature, which hast made it so like to him that got it. If thou hast the ordering of the mind too, amongst all colors no yellow in't, lest she suspect as he does, her children's not her husband's.
Take her hence!
A most unworthy and unnatural lord can do no more.
I'll have thee burnt.
I care not. It is an heretic that makes the fire, not she who burns it. I'll not call you tyrant, but this most cruel usage of your queen, not able to produce more accusation than your own weak-hinged fancy, something savors of tyranny, and will ignoble make you, yea, scandalous to the world.
Were I a tyrant, where were her life? She durst not call me so, if she did know me one. Away with her!
I pray you do not push me. I'll be gone. Look to your babe, my lord, 'tis yours. Jove send her a better guiding spirit. What needs these hands, you that are thus so tender, or his follies will never do him good, not one of you. So, farewell, we are gone.
And Amelia, Desdemona's lady-in-waiting, speaking on behalf of all disappointed wives.
Dost thou and Constance think, tell me, Amelia, that there be women do abuse their husbands in such gross kind?
There be some such, no question.
I do not think there is any such woman.
Yes, a dozen, and as many to the vantage as would store the world they played for. But I do think it is their husbands' faults if wives do fall. Say that they slack their duties and pour out treasures into foreign laps, or else break out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraint upon us. Or say they strike us or scant our former having in despite. Why, we have galls, and though we have some grace, yet we have some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell, and have their palates both for sweet and sour, as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And doth affection breed it? I think it doth. Is frailty vanity that thus errs, it is so too. And have not we affections, desires for sport, and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well, else let them know the ills we do. Their ills instruct us so.
Then there are those women who will simply not play by the rules. We call them the disruptors. First, a gentle disruption. Lady Percy, widow of the bold and handsome Hotspur, known as Harry, and rival to the king's prodigal son, Prince Hal, urges her father-in-law not to compound her loss in a foolish war.
Oh, yet for God's sake, go not to these wars. The time was, Father, that you broke your word, when you were more endeared to it than now, when your own Percy, when my heart's dear Harry, threw many a northward look to see his father bringing up his powers, but he did long in vain. Who then persuaded you to stay at home? There were 2 honors lost, yours and your son's. For yours the God of heaven brightened it. For his it stuck upon him as the sun in the grey vault of heaven. And by his light did all the chivalry of England move to do brave acts. He was indeed the glass wherein the noble youth did dress themselves. He had no legs that practiced not his gait. For those that could would seem like him, so that in speech, in gait, in diet, in affections of delight, in military rules, humors of blood, he was the mark and glass, copy and book, that fashioned others. And him, oh wondrous him, oh miracle of men, him did you leave, second to none, unseconded by you, to look upon the hideous god of war in disadvantage, to abide a field where nothing but the sound of Hotspur's name did seem defensible, so you left him. Never, oh never do his ghost the wrong to hold your honor more precise and nice with others than with him. Let them alone. The marshal and the archbishop are strong. Had my sweet Harry had but half their numbers, today might I, hanging on Hotspur's neck, have talked of Monmouth's grave.
But she is nothing compared to Lady Constance, sister-in-law of King John, and enraged by the manipulations which have taken her son out of the line of royal succession, capped by the wedding of the Dauphin to Lady Blanche of Spain, when she is entreated to celebrate the day.
A wicked day, and not a holy day. What hath this day deserved? What hath it done that it in golden letters should be set among the high tides in the calendar? Nay, rather turn this day out of the week, this day of shame, oppression, perjury. Or, if it must stand still, let wives with child pray that the burthens may not fall this day, lest that their hopes prodigiously be crossed. But on this day, let seamen fear no wreck, no bargains break that are not this day made. This day, all things begun come to ill end. Yea, faith itself to hollow falsehood change.
By heaven, lady, you shall have no cause to curse the fair proceedings of this day. Have I not pawned you to my majesty?
You have beguiled me with a counterfeit resembling majesty, which, being touched and tried, proves valueless. You are forsworn, forsworn! You came in arms to spill mine enemy's blood, but now in arms you strengthen it with yours. The grappling vigor and rough frown of war is cold in amity and painted peace, and our oppression hath made up this league. Arm, arm, you heavens, against these perjured kings! A widow cries, be husband to me, heavens! Let not the hours of this ungodly day wear out the day in peace, but ere sunset set armed discord twixt these perjured kings. Hear me! Oh, hear me!
Lady Constance, peace!
War! War! No peace! Peace is to me a war. Limousin, O Austria, thou dost shame the bloody spoil. Thou slave, thou wretch, thou coward! Thou little valiant, great in villainy. Thou ever strong upon the stronger side. Thou fortune's champion that dost never fight, but when her humorous ladyship is by to teach thee safety. Thou art perjured too and soothest up greatness. What a fool art thou, a ramping pool, to brag and stamp and swear upon on my party. Thou cold-blooded slave, hast thou not spoke like thunder on my side, been sworn my soldier, bidding me depend upon thy stars, thy fortune, and thy strength? And dost thou now fall over to my foes? Thou wear a lion's hide, doff it for shame, and hang a calf skin on those craven limbs.
And as we prepare to take our leave, we return to the greatest disruptor of all, counseling her beloved husband.
Glamorous thou art, and caughter, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet I do fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness that should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou wholly, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. The raven himself is horse that crooks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep beast between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pour thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold!
So now we leave you with the fair Rosalind of As You Like It, who delivers perhaps the most charming leave-taking in the entire canon.
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that wine needs no bush, 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. But it's true that wine needs a good bush, and good plays prove the better with the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in then, that am neither a good epilogue, nor can I insinuate you in the behalf of a good play. I am not furnished like a beggar. Therefore, to beg will not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much of the play as please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering, none of you hates them, that between you and the women the play may please. As if I were women, I would kiss as many of you as fears as please me, complexions that liked me and breasts that I tried not. And I am sure, as many of you have good beards and good faces or sweet breaths, will for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me
Farewell.